artist Alan Dershowitz. Now, Professor, I always read your articles in The Hill, and yesterday you wrote a very interesting piece on how an obstruction case against President Trump should raise a flag for any civil libertarians out there, irrespective of which side of the aisle they're on. Tell me why.
Well, what they're trying to do is stitch together an obstruction case based on public tweets on the exercise of First Amendment rights. You know, people don't obstruct justice in public. If you're going to obstruct justice, you're going to do it in private. The idea that the special counsel is trying to put together a case, he knows he doesn't have a case. There's no smoking gun. He's trying to put together a case based on tweets, public statements, presidential actions. That is so dangerous to civil liberties. Today it's being used against Trump. Tomorrow it'll be used against Democrats. And the day after tomorrow it could be used against any of you in the audience. Every civil libertarian ought to be outraged at the idea that special counsel, if this report is true, is trying to cobble together a case against President Trump based on his tweets and his public statement.
Professor, would you also agree that when some of the judges were looking at the travel ban, they were looking outside the four corners of the ban itself to other things that the president may have said or not said? This is fundamental contract law. Everything is within the four corners of a contract or based on what is relevant to the specific issue. Would you agree with that? Because if you don't, tell me.
No, I completely agree. The Supreme Court, yes, in a 5-4 decision, but nonetheless, a majority of the Supreme Court said what the president said about the travel ban is not as important as what's in the words of the travel ban. You can't have a travel ban that would be constitutional if President Obama issued it, but the same words would be unconstitutional if President Trump issued it.
All right.
You have to look at the words of the travel ban.
We agree. We agree. I want to talk about Rudy Giuliani, who was just on with breaking news, and he talks about the tape, that there's a break in the tape. It gets muddled, and the first thing I thought was, what's going on with this? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, about 10 years ago, I represented the former president of the Ukraine, who was charged with a serious crime. I went over to Kiev, and it was based on a tape. And we were able to get the tape and put it through all kinds of forensic analysis and prove that they switched words from the tape and made him say things that he didn't say. I don't know that that's happened here. All I know is this tape must be subjected to forensic analysis. We must stretch the words to find out what exactly the president said, what the context was, and most important, why it ended at a particular point. Was that a decision made by Mr. Cohen to end it there? Was it erased because he said things that were exculpatory? We need to know the entire context of the tape if the tape means anything. By the way, the tape does not contain any evidence of crime. How do I know that? A former judge appointed by Judge Kimball Wood made a determination that this tape is covered by the lawyer-client privilege, and criminal discussions are not covered by the lawyer-client privilege. So we already have a judicial determination that this tape does not contain elements of a crime.
So, Professor, you're talking about, I assume, Barbara Jones, the master on this, who would not have handed over the tape if it were covered, if it were not covered by attorney-client privilege.
Absolutely right. And nobody has made that point. And it's very important. You already have a judicial determination that it's covered. If it's covered, it's not criminal.
It's not a crime. Go ahead, Professor.
No, it's not a crime to seek advice from your lawyer as to how to deal with a complicated situation. We've every lawyer has had conversations like this with clients. In the end, the clients listen to you.
And that's
but nobody should have heard this tape, and we have to find out who leaked it.
Okay, I agree. And that's why you're a Harvard professor, because you're so smart, Alan Dershowitz.
Well,
Thanks for being with us. And